Hi everyone, Anat Kessler here with a new video tutorial, and today I'm going to show you 3 really fun and cool ideas to make mini albums in a box. You have a link to the measurements and the cutting guide in the description under the video, so let's get started. So we're going to start by making the lid. So we're going to score that at 2.5 inches lengthwise, while the paper is on this position. So we're going to score that, fold it, and then we're going to score horizontally, starting at 1/2 inch, and then we're going to fold that and align the fold with our next scoring line, which is at 3 3/8. And again, you have all the measurements and the instructions, written instructions, in the link in the description below the video. We're going to fold that and align that with 1.5 inches. And if it's difficult to see, you can simply flip the paper where the pattern is not as dark. And then we're going to align that last fold line with 3 3/8. And that is the lid of the box. So next we're going to cut on the bottom from the edge to the fold line. We're going to remove the corners and create tabs so we can attach them together and create the lid. And again, you have a really good sketch how that looks and where you need to cut in the link that you have in the description that you can download for free. So you cut little triangles on both sides of each of the fold lines from the edge to the horizontal fold line, and you remove that corner completely where you scored on 1/2 inch, and this is what you have. We'll go like this. First you need to cut the large tab between the two small tabs just in half, make it smaller. Then you need to attach. My glue is clogged, so I'm going to remove that. And then you need to apply glue on these two tabs and attach them to the smaller tab like this. Add some glue on that smaller tab and close the larger tab to create your lid. And don't forget you have that 1/2 inch tab on the side that you need to attach as well, like this. And now you have your lid, and we're going to create the base, the box itself, basically in the same way, only with slightly different measurements. And again, you have all the measurements in the link in the description under the video. You just click the link and then you can download it. For the next piece that we're going to create the box, we're going to score it at 3.5 lengthwise. Fold that and then score horizontally, starting from 1/2 inch like we did before. We're going to align each fold with the exact number, so we need to score it on. So that would be 3 1/4. Then align that with 1 1/2 and score it. And then align that fold line again with 3 1/4 line. Just flipping that so I can see better. Three and a quarter. And then we are going to cut the tabs the same way we did for the lid. Exactly the same way. Just remove little triangles from both sides of the score lines from the edge to the horizontal score line to make the tabs. And then we're going to remove where you scored the 1/2 inch. We're going to remove that bottom corner completely and cut the 2 triangles to create the tab. Don't forget to cut that. I'm just checking that the lid fits the box. It's hard to do when it's not glued, but it fits. This is how it's going to look. So don't forget to cut that tab between the 2 small tabs. Then you need to take your ribbon and attach it to that tab. I do it with a staple, it's the easiest way. Just 8-9 inches of ribbon will be enough. And then you simply glue all the parts like we did with the lid to close the box. You apply the glue on the tabs. And then you close the 2 tabs on top of this tab, and then the larger tab to close the box. And then don't forget that little tab on the side that you need to attach, and then your box will be ready, and we can go ahead and do all the pages for the pop-up mini album that is going to come out of this box. Just align everything, make sure your box is straight. This goes on top like that. Okay, so the pages are all 8 by 3 inches. We're going to fold them all in half, and it's best to use double-sided cardstock so you'll have pattern on both sides. Then you can use whatever pattern that you want and play around with it. I'm using graphic 45 papers. You can use whatever papers you have in your stash, of course. So just fold them all in half, and then we're going to make little slits in the pages. I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to do that in all 6 pages. Going to bring my trimmer back. You can do this with a craft knife as well. So you're going to align your folded paper while the fold line is on the top, and then you're going to align it with the 1 inch and cut down 3/8 of an inch like this, and then you're going to align it with a 2 inch line and again cut 3/8 of an inch. So this is how it looks. So you're going to do that with all the pages. Again, align it, put the fold line on the top, align it with 1 inch, and then cut down 3/8 of an inch, and then align it with 2 inches, and again cut 3/8 of an inch. So we're going to do that with all the papers. Then we're going to fold that bit that we've cut towards the inside. So you just push it with your fingers like this, and then fold it. And this is going to give us the pop-up effect. So you're going to do that with all the pages. Just push that part towards the inside and fold it like this. So once you've done that with all of your pages, we're going to create 2 sets of 3 pages each. So we're going to first arrange the pages in the order that you want them to be. And then I'm just going to reverse the direction of one of the pages because I don't want too much red. And once you've decided the order, you simply apply glue to the back side of one of the pages, the one that you want to be first, and then you attach the first and second pages back to back like this. And then you attach the third page back to back to the pages you've already attached. So you want to do 2 sets of 3 pages each. So this is the first set, and then you are going to attach the second set. Again, back to back all the pages, after of course you decide the order that you want them to be. So I'm just attaching all of them together, and our next part is going to be to attach 1 set to the ribbon that we have inside the box. So we're going to insert the pages about 1/4 of an inch into the box, and then we're going to attach the ribbon to the first page while the pages are 1/4 of an inch inside the box. And again, doing it with a staple is the easiest way. And once you have that, just remove the excess of the ribbon, and you can attach the second set to the first set. So just the same way, we're going to do it back to back. Apply the glue on the back side of the last page and attach it to the set that is already connected inside the box. Just align the pages together. Make sure they are easily pulled out, and this is our pop-up mini album. Of course, you can do more than 6 pages if you want. I think about 10 will fit in there. So this was our pop-up mini album in a box. Next, we're going to make an easel drawer with a mini album inside. 3 12 by 12 heavy cardstock, and we're going to start with the first square that you need to cut. There's a little bit of cutting and measuring in this project. So this one is an 8.5 by 7 inches, and of course you need double-sided cardstock, and the heavier the better, because it is a 3D model that you need to create and you want it to hold. So the next square is 9 1/16 of an inch by 6 1/16 of an inch, and you also have a PDF file with all the measurements and the instructions in this post as well. So for those of you who prefer PDF files, it's there. So we're going to mark this square A, and the last square is going to measure 9 1/8 by 6 1/8, and this one is going to be square B. Just take a pencil and mark them so we won't get confused later on. So we have our 3 squares, and now you need to bring your scoreboard. And I lost my bone folder, so I'm using a little popsicle stick to do the scoring. So the first square that we did, that is the drawer. You need to score it at 1 1/4 on all 4 sides. So that's pretty easy. Just score it, and then we're going to fold all those score lines and just pick the side that you want your drawer to be, what is going to be on the outside and what is going to be on the inside. Of course, you can always change the direction of the folds. Now we're going to take our scissors and cut on the corner, on one side of the corner, all the way to the fold line, to the scored line. Doesn't matter the direction, but only on one side of the corner. And this will enable us to fold this, create a little square, and create the drawer. So apply your glue on the outside of those little squares that we created, and then you attach each square to the opposite tab or flap or piece of paper that is next to it, like this. And this will give you the drawer. You do that on all four corners. Apply the glue on the outside, because when you apply the glue on the outside of the little square, it allows you to do the attaching on the inside of the drawer, and the outside walls look nice and pretty. They don't see the point where you attached it. So this is our drawer. Pretty easy. And now we'll take our squares A and B and bring our scoreboard again, and on those two squares we need to score on the 1.5 inch, but we are going to score on the two short sides and only one of the long side. Okay, so one long side is going to be completely unscored. So one short side, one long side, and then one short side, and that's it. And we're going to do this on both square A and square B. And then we're going to fold them, burnish them, and let's do this on the second square, on the 1.5 inch, on both short sides and one long side, like we did on the last square. So these two squares are going to form the outside of the drawer, the house that the drawer is going to be in, the box. Basically, now I'm going to show you how to create this box. We're going to take square A and then cut on the horizontal lines of the little squares that we scored, the same way that we did on the drawer. But it's important to do this on square A on the horizontal lines. On square B, we are going to cut on the vertical lines of the little corner squares. Okay, hope that makes sense and that is very clear. And now we're going to glue them together the same way we did for the drawer. Now for the gluing, on square A, when we cut the horizontal lines, we're going to apply the glue on the inside of the little square, because on this part we're going to attach the little square to the wall on the outside. See, I'm doing this on the outside of the wall on both sides, like this. This is square A. It's the smaller square. Okay? So just make sure it's all nice and glued. For square B, we're going to apply the glue on the outside of the square, because we're going to attach the wall on the inside. So it's opposite of what we did on square A. Hope that is clear. So on the inside of the wall, like this, because we don't want it to show. Square B is the larger square. Okay, so now we'll attach both squares together like this. Square A is going to slide into square B. So we are going to apply the glue inside square B on all 3 walls. Make sure that you add enough glue. We need it to be nice and secure, nice and glued properly on all 3 walls, on the inside of course. And this is going to be the box that the drawer will fit into. So put the glue in there, and then square A, which is slightly smaller, is going to slide inside like this. Have to make sure that you slide it in a way that you have an opening on one side and 3 walls on all 3 of the sides. Make sure it's burnished properly. If you need to, just put your hand in there or your bone folder to secure everything. And then you have a box, and it's firm because you have 2 squares that are forming it, and this is the drawer that is going to slide in there. Now let's create the easel card. For the easel card, we need to cut 2 squares. The first square is 5 3/4 by 8 1/2, and of course I'm using matching papers. If you were wondering what kind of papers I'm using, those are Graphic 45 papers. It's called A Lady's Diary. That's the collection. Love this collection. And this first square, we're going to score it horizontally on the 4 1/4 line, and then on the 6 3/8 line. Okay, so 2 score lines, 6 3/8. Using a popsicle stick because I lost my bone folder. I need to buy a new one. I had 2 and I lost both of them. I have no idea where they are. So now we're going to fold. First fold it in half, and then fold the other tab. So what you will get is a Z shape like this, with one long side and one short side. Now we need to cut another square for the easel card. This square will measure 5 3/4 by 4 1/4. So I'm using the same paper because I want it all to match, but you can decide, you can do the whole project from just one color cardstock and then cover it with pattern paper. So now I'm applying glue to the little tab or the little folded area of the Z, as you can see, and then I'm aligning the square that we cut with the little flap there, and this is what you should get, and this is how the easel card is going to stand up. Okay, so now basically it's time to embellish our easel card, and as you know, the sky's the limit. Just if you want to send it somewhere, then you can't make it too bulky, but if you don't want to send it anywhere, then you can just make it as bulky as you want. I'm using some chipboard and stickers, and I want to create a 3D chipboard frame, and the center of this frame, this circle that I'm now attaching, this is not straight, is not going to show, but I'm still attaching it to my card because I want it to be a platform that I can glue things on it. So I am putting on the sticker, but this is not straight. Just gonna make sure that this is completely straight. Now this sticker is going to go here, and on top of this I'm going to put on this lady with some 3D dimensional tape, which is always a good idea when you want to create very pop up embellishments, or 3D kind of embellishments. Aligning the lady with the frame, and then once you're happy with the way you have embellished the front of the easel card, it's always important, if you want your easel card to stand, to add a strip of paper or embellishment to the inside of your card, at least I would say at least an inch or 3/4 of an inch wide. So I'm adding some sticker as well, a little sticker there. So that is going to keep the easel standing. I'm just going to show you in a minute how. See, like this is going to stop it from sliding all the way down, because that little paper and sticker that I've added is raised enough to stop the card from sliding, and this is how it's going to stand. Okay, so this is a vital part of the easel card mechanism. So once you've finished with your easel card, then it's time to attach it to the box. So I'm applying glue to the bottom part of the card. By the way, you can embellish the box without the card and put the card in the box, in the drawer, if you don't want to put it on top of your drawer box. So basically it's up to you how you want it to look. It will fit inside the drawer, so it can be like the card in the drawer and then different embellishments on top of the box. So now I want to create a little handle for the drawer. I'm going to use a large brad and insert it in a little strip of paper from the leftovers that I have. You can insert it directly to the side of the drawer, but I want to make sure, first of all, I want to add a little more color, but then I wanted to make sure that it's strong enough. Just a piece of paper, cardstock, and then I'm attaching the brad to that piece and gluing it to the front of my drawer, and this little brad is going to be the handle. You can create a handle yourself from the cardstock, or use chipboard or whatever it is that, or a button or something that you have in your stash that is raised enough or 3D enough to grab and pull out the drawer. So now let's create a little mini album. Cut 5 or 6 or whatever, how many leftovers that you have, but the size is 5.5 by 4 inches, the size of the pages, and I've cut 5 of them, and I'm binding them with Bind It All on the narrower side. So this is going to be a horizontal mini album. You can bind them on the longer side and make it a vertical mini album, and of course you can add as many papers as you want. I'm going to leave this blank because I want to add photos on it. I'm not going to create any interactive mechanisms or pockets or whatever in there. This is just going to be bulky enough when I add all the photos. So it's empty for now. Just going to show you the papers. They look really nice, and they will fit large photos, not 6 by 4, slightly smaller, but still you have enough room, and the more papers you have, the more photos you can fit in there. Then you have a really pretty gift. So this was our easel drawer with a mini album inside that you can decide how big or small you want to make it. Next we're going to make an accordion album inside a box that you open, and it opens like a concertina. A really cool project. This is our final idea. You have all the measurements in the cutting guide that you can download from a link in the description under the video. So we're going to start with our first piece, and we're going to draw a line with the pencil at 1 inch, because what we're going to do is basically create a longer, larger paper. So we need to know where to attach the other piece. So we're going to apply glue to that 1 inch space between the edge and the pencil mark, and then attach the other piece to it, creating a long paper. And this paper is going to be the accordion that is going to go in the box. So once that's dry and we have that large piece of paper, we can go ahead and start scoring it. So we're going to start on the left side, and we're going to score it at 1/2 inch, and then go and make a score line every 3 inches at 3.5, 6.5, 9.5, 12.5, 15.5, and 18.5. So basically we're going to have 1/2 inch on the other side as well. So you can go ahead and make those score lines, and if you reach the part of your trimmer or scoreboard that you can't measure anymore, then simply align your last score line with 3.5 inches, with 3 inches, and then keep on scoring. This way you'll have a score line every 3 inches. So again, align the last score line with 3 inches and then keep scoring. Or you can turn the paper and start again at 1/2 inch and then every 3 inches. Basically, you'll have the exact same lines that you need. So now we're going to fold this in an accordion shape. One fold in and one fold out to make an accordion. So what you'll have at the end is an accordion with 2 little 1/2 inch tabs on each side. Okay, so now we have our accordion with the tabs on the side, and we can go ahead and make the box. So you have 2 pieces for the box, the top and the bottom. You score each one at 1/2 inch on all 4 sides, and that will give you the height of the box. And what you're making is basically the walls. So the walls are going to be 1/2 inch tall. So score every piece at 1/2 inch on all 4 sides, and then we'll be able to make the box. It's a very easy technique. We've made it before. Just finish with the scoring, then I'll show you how to make the box. You make the top and the bottom exactly the same way, and what you need to do is bring your scissors and then cut along the score lines. Let's fold them first, burnish them with a bone folder, or you can burnish them with your fingers, just as long as the score lines will be crisp and strong. This way your box will be straight. So just fold all the score lines. You will see that one piece is a little bit larger than the other, so the larger piece is going to be the top and the smaller piece is going to be the bottom. So what we're going to do next is cut from the edge along the score lines all the way up to where the score lines meet, and then snip the corner. going to do this on both sides. And these little tabs are going to be attached to the walls of the box and make the box. So apply glue to the inside of your tabs and then attach them to the wall like this. Just hold it a little bit until it's dry. Make sure it's aligned, that the corner is straight. Then do the exact same thing on the other side. Just hold the tabs a little bit until it's dry. And then I also like to squeeze the sides a little bit to make sure everything is straight. Then we do the exact same thing on the other part of the box, because again we have a top and a bottom. So just cut from the edge to where the score line meet and then snip the corner diagonally just as a little bit, and then apply glue to your tabs. This is why I like to use liquid glue, because then I can move the tabs a little bit if I have to and align them properly. It means I have to hold them a little bit until it's dry, because it's not like double-sided tape, but I think it's better because you have a chance to align everything to position. So then apply glue to the other two tabs and attach to the wall to make the other part of the box. And don't forget to squeeze those little walls, the side walls, just to make them straight. So now you have the top and the bottom of the box. Just make sure they fit together. Perfect. So the next part is to cover your accordion with cover papers. Now there are a few options. You can cut the cover paper according to the measurements that you have in the cutting guide that you can get from the link in the description under the video. You can use paper scraps and cover the space of the accordion with a few pieces, creating sort of a collage. Instead of cutting one large piece to cover it, cut 2 or 3 pieces and then fit them in that space like I'm doing here. The third option is to use photos, and instead of covering everything with cover papers, you can cover it with photos, and then you'll have, instead of an accordion card, you'll have an accordion mini album in a box. And of course the fourth option is to mix and match, so you can do all 3. Okay, so now everything is covered. We can go ahead and cover the boxes. So you cover the top box, the top part, with papers on the inside and the outside, and the bottom box is only covered on the inside because you won't see the bottom. Okay, so next we can go ahead and attach the accordion card or mini album to the box. So let's do that. Just flip this top box, and then what we do is apply glue to the bottom of the 1/2-inch flap on the left side, attaching it to the inside of the bottom box on the right side, aligning it with the right wall. And the right side of the accordion goes on the left side of the top box like this, aligning it with the left wall. And if you don't want that, this is how it looks. Isn't that cool? If you don't want that the black 1/2-inch tabs to show, simply cover them with a strip of paper. I really hope you like this tutorial. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the little bell icon so you will be notified whenever I upload a new video tutorial. This way you'll be able to follow all the tutorials and make all the projects. So I don't like those 1/2 inch tabs, so I am going to cover them with a strip of paper. Basically, the strip of paper measures 1/2 inch because that's the width of the tab. So I've covered one side, just going to cover the other side. So I really hope you like all these ideas and that you're going to make them. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you next time.